From calling Bill Clinton a murderer.
Yeah. Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without...
That's a little too far.
To getting kicked off a news broadcast.
Every time I do an interview, a guy wants to open his fucking mouth.
These are 5 times that comedians went way too far. Starting off at number 5, we have Andrew Dice Clay. For those of you that don't know, Andrew Dice Clay rose to fame in the late 1980s for his incredibly over-the-top and deliberately abrasive persona he played on stage. He would even continue playing the persona of Dice when he got off stage as well. This type of comedy isn't as prevalent nowadays, but Dice really found a home for himself doing this humor when it was incredibly popular. There was one time that CNN had invited Dice onto their network to promote some of his upcoming shows and to do some general press, and these journalists failed to realize that Dice would still be in character while on the show and that he would not be toning it down at all. It led to one of the funniest moments on television we've ever seen.
Of course, you were a headline guy.
I'm still a headline guy, you know what I mean?
For a while you popped out, now you're coming back. You were running a gym? Tell us about that.
Running a gym?
Weren't you running a gym at some point?
You're supposed to be a news guy. Where you getting your
It's our research. You weren't.
This is ridiculous. I come on CNN and the guy don't even know what he's talking about. Go ahead.
You at no point were you running a gym?
No, running a gym. What,
No,
you need a workout or something? Jesus fucking Christ, with these guys. I come on the news for 2 seconds. Every time I do an interview, a guy wants to open his fucking mouth. Can't even
Andrew,
do a little
thank you very much. We thought that you could hold back.
Fuck yourself. You know what?
All right.
Fuck the whole network.
We'll go back to talking about Art Carney.
Obviously, Dice would never be invited back on CNN after this, but it actually led to more people finding out about Dice and appreciating his bombastic charade he put on for his audience. Other than getting kicked off the show, Dice saw no harsh repercussions for this and made for a hilarious moment that will live on the internet forever. Moving on, at number 4, we have Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais gained a lot of fame and notoriety for his many years hosting the Golden Globes, and also for his blazing indifference towards the actors and directors that were present at the award ceremonies. To the surprise of no one, a bunch of Hollywood actors and actresses with millions of dollars don't really have the best sense of humor, and they have a lot of trouble being able to laugh at themselves. So Ricky took advantage of this every time he hosted the Golden Globes. One of the most iconic times he hosted was in January 2020, where he made a series of scorching remarks towards the audience.
Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel. So, it was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, 2 Popes. Shut up. I don't care. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay? Season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Right. If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay?
The comment about being in no position to lecture the public about anything is particularly rich, and you could tell that some of the audience did not enjoy that one. And to top it all off, he ended with a joke about Jeffrey Epstein not taking his own life, and the audience gets very weird and tense. Then he breaks the tension, saying the obvious with what we already know about all these Hollywood weirdos. It makes for a grand moment on television for comedy fans, but it would lead to Ricky getting some heat on Twitter, and alongside that, he would not be invited back to host again. However, Ricky has voiced that his monologues are never for the people right in front of him, but they're always for the people back home watching on TV. Luckily for Ricky, now he can just perform for audiences who actually like his humor and want to see him live. Coming in at number 3, we have Arty Lang on Joe Buck Live. If you've never seen this clip before, Arty Lang went on Joe Buck Live alongside Paul Rudd and Jason Sudeikis. Before they went on the air, Joe Buck had told Arty Lang to roast him and to not hold back when doing it, which is never a great idea, especially when you're talking to a guy who is a seasoned comedian with nothing to lose because he already lost everything betting on sports with Norm Macdonald. After several minutes on the show, Arty would really start to light up Joe Buck, and you could tell in Joe's eyes that he immediately regretted asking Arty to do this.
But as a Yankee fan and a Giant fan and a well-known homophobic, I'm also a well-known homophobic. It's like a white trash gift from God that the fucking Cowboys have a quarterback whose last name rhymes with homo. You can say that on Angel Dust. I know I've tried, like Tony Homo. And he's dating a fat chick. Jessica Simpson started out looking like Jessica Simpson. Now she looks like Chris Farley from those Gap sketches. There's 80 websites predicting my death in a week. That's fun. ArtyLang's.com. But, you know, Joe, it's exciting for me to be here. Not because of you, but
Thank you.
because I loved your father. And I love you, too. You're the best. He's great at what he does, Joe Buck.
Thank you. Indeed.
It was your Jack Buck was your father.
True.
And
Is this gonna take a while? 'Cause
yeah,
this is,
yeah. Sorry to ruin your fucking great show.
Yeah. I appreciate the apology because you have.
So as you can tell, Arty was really going all out while on the show, and you could also visibly see Jason and Paul get a little nervous at times if you watch the entire broadcast. Also, Arty admitted that he had been taking Vicodin and drinking whiskey a few hours before he had gone on the set of the show, so that, coupled with Joe Buck poking the bear, just really led to one of the most memorable moments on TV, in addition to a PR nightmare for the network television company that aired it. Following this, on to number 2, we have Bill Burr. Bill Burr was making an appearance on the set of a morning show titled Good Day New York. While on the air, the host started asking Bill about his TV show F is for Family, and things are going seemingly normal for the first few minutes of the show. Then the female host asks Bill about some of the jokes he made about the Catholic Church, and how some people online think that he went way too far. Then it turns into an absolutely hilarious moment for everybody at home watching.
You know, it's fun. You get on stage, you talk about topics that are kind of taboo, but you make them really, really funny.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
2
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord. I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
well, they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
I want to. You know what I'm
to.
talking about? It's a morning show. I understand.
Bill is known for being hotter than a $2 pistol when you press him a little bit, and he surely did not disappoint here. You could tell that they get very uncomfortable when they try to interrupt him, and he just keeps comparing the Catholic Church controversy to when a killer whale kills a trainer and moves to another state. Then the male host says he's not following Bill's logic, as if Bill didn't just crack the perfect analogy for how people move away from their scandals, but this took a relatively normal interview to a legendary Bill Burr moment that surely got him in some hot water, but it was all worth it. And finally, at the #1 spot, we have Norm Macdonald. On November 16th, 2000, Norm Macdonald went on The View and got himself in some of the funniest trouble we have ever seen. To begin with, Norm talks about how he wants to get the homicide out of the White House, and then when confronted about this statement, he makes everyone uncomfortable with his answer.
See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without
That's a little
Charlie.
too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice, okay?
And I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question. So get with it.
There you go.
This is a live show.
Why? But you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm now going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up. Shut up. Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
Let's talk football.
Norm, did you ever hear the word?
The phone is ringing.
I certainly hope that's somebody calling to tell you to go home.
Oh, no.
Dude, you got a phone ringing.
Oh.
Answer the phone.
This is absolutely hilarious. When Norm calls Bill Clinton a murderer, all the ladies from The View freak out, and Norm just sits there with a big smile on his face as if he has no idea what he just did. Then when they try to pivot away from it, he just stays on the point and makes it even more uncomfortable for them. Then when the ladies of The View try to go off on a tangent, Norm has a bit where he lets his phone ring, and this completely kills the noise and momentum that all the ladies had. Just an absolutely savage and hilarious moment from the greatest comedy mind to ever bless the world. Of these 5 moments, which one was your favorite? What's a time a comedian went way too far that you expected to see in this video? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. You can check out my Patreon if you want to see some bonus content. But all in all, this was 5 times comedians went way too far.